What's going on, brothers and sisters? Chris here from Namaste Gaming, and this is your weekly patch discussion video. I waited an extra day to drop this one. I'm sorry, I know I'm not supposed to do that, but I was really hoping there'd be something new to talk about by today. Unfortunately, the Tower of Nightmares preview is still shrouded in secrecy, but we've got plenty to talk about anyway, so let's get to it. So first off, a quick review of the last patch. The Halloween content has been well received for the most part. From what I've seen, most people who have some sort of gripe with it seem to be more annoyed with the general direction of content creation in this game rather than having any sort of actual distinct complaint about the content, which is great because the festivals really tend to just be a fun little distraction, a couple of weeks off from the otherwise endless churn of living story content that feeds our addiction to new and shiny things. It also gave a bit of breathing room for the start of WvW Season 1, which has been interesting, I guess I'll say. Our biggest WvW guild over on Isle of Janthir, Core, contained probably around 50% of our most dedicated WvW players, and they up and left us for Fort Aspenwood. I understand the decision, but I have nothing positive to say about it, and considering I actually like and respect a fair few people in that guild, and I know that they have some members who actually watch my videos, I'll leave it at that. I'm curious how many other servers have dealt with the same thing, and I'm wondering if these leagues are going to result in certain servers effectively having no WvW scene whatsoever. I've had a decent number of people transfer to IOJ to join the guild, and I'd feel horrible leaving them behind. But at the same time, WvW is the most fun I have in this game, so if our server is going to end up being spawn camped half the time, it's going to be awfully hard for me to justify sticking around. Maybe you guys can help me get some perspective on this stuff. If you're so inclined, let me know in the comments section what server you play on and what changes you've noticed in your server's community, both before and after the season started. What I'm hoping to hear is that most servers are fine, and there's only been a few that were impacted in the same manner as IOJ, but I'm waiting on your comments to confirm or disprove that notion. As far as the scoring of the season and the meta achievements, I find it kind of strange. With how quickly a moderately coordinated Zerg can flip towers and even keeps, and the growing popularity of roamers and havoc squads to flip camps and harass supply trains, the current scoring system just doesn't seem to have a ton of room for prolonged tactical play. It'd be really cool to see the scoring system reward more points the longer an objective is held, particularly as more upgrades get stacked onto it. One of the things that I found super fun about WvW in beta is that people would defend any and every objective to the very last man. But once people started caring about winning, that ended pretty quickly because in the time it takes you to defend one objective, you can take 2 or 3 more. It messes with me that there's very little defensive game to WvW, especially in EB, and it does kind of cheapen the value of every objective that you take. The positive side of the system is that WvW kind of has a high enough learning curve as is, at least as far as how it looks to people on the outside looking in, so it's kind of nice to be able to just tell newcomers, move with the blue Dorito, kill anything with a red name, and stand in the big circles. The achievements kind of reflect that as well. There's nothing that requires any sort of coordination or advanced knowledge of WvW, and you can get 16 of the 21 without ever leaving a Zerg, which, if you're keeping count, is one more than you need for the meta achievement. The 4 jumping puzzle achievements and the Master of Runes are the only achievements that you need to actually leave the Zerg for. What it seems like to me is that the real aim of this is to get more new players into WvW by making the rewards more competitive and using the achievement system as a little nudge to let them know when they're doing the quote-unquote right things. If this actually is the case, it's an awesome idea, and I really hope it catches on. The more new players we can get into WvW, the better, and if it's a success, maybe they can try the same sort of virtual breadcrumb trail approach with SPVP, because from what I've heard, that's a game mode that could use some new blood as well. Anyway, I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys think of the WvW League and whether it's been a positive or negative thing for your servers, so please do let me know in the comments. As far as this next patch goes, things are still a bit of a mystery. What we know is that the Crate are building a huge obelisk and are trying to be sneaky about it. Said obelisk has all kinds of creepy nightmare stuff growing out of it, and Kessex Hills is looking even more grim than usual. We also know that we're going to be getting a new healing skill across all classes called Antitoxin Spray, which cleanses yourself and nearby allies of poison, torment, confusion, and something new called Toxin, which is presumably a condition that will be inflicted by the new Nightmare-equipped Crate. I'm unsure how excited to be over this. We've needed some new healing skills for a while now, but I just can't imagine this being used outside of this new dungeon or event or whatever form it's going to take. If it actually ends up being competitive with the other healing abilities, it'll be awesome, but man, it's tough to balance something like that when everyone has access to it. Time will tell, but I'd bet on it being something that typically only gets used in conjunction with very specific content. For the Ameta achievement, we'll be getting a Crate Obelisk Shard for our home instance, which acts as a place of power for earning a skill point as well as for charging quartz crystals. You guys know I like the whole idea of sprucing up our home instances, but the stuff we seem to be getting right now doesn't exactly blend in. What would be really cool is if we could have an actual home in our home instance and place these trophy type items like the quartz crystal, the candy corn node, and this obelisk in places where we would actually like them to go, presumably places where they make a little bit more sense than, say, just in the middle of the sidewalk. Barring that though, at least you'll always know where to get your first skill point on a new character, right? As far as the content itself, I'm really hoping for a new world boss, or maybe even a partial revamp of Kessex Hills. Hell, both or either would be great in my books at this point. It would be amazing to see the world actually evolve and change in a meaningful way, and I can't think of many ways that would excite me more than seeing a bland and often ignored section of a zone that you promptly forget about after hitting level 80, turned into a hub for rewarding high-level content. Who knows, maybe we'll finally have to pay the piper for letting that Blood Witch muck around unchecked all that time. That's all I've got for you today, folks. Make sure to say your piece in the comments. Let me know what's on your mind. If you enjoyed it, you can let me know by clicking the like button. And if you're new around here, stick around. Click the subscribe button down below and join us on this crazy ride. Much love to each and every one of you. Stay black.